In this section, we're going to be setting up our course content folder and our login sheet so that we can follow along pretty seamlessly as we go forward. So first, I do want to apologize if you see any text discrepancies. Like, you're going to see a little bit of a discrepancy between the text you see here in the picture and what you'll see in the notepad when you actually open it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Same thing as you go through putting resources throughout. If you notice any kind of discrepancies, I try to clean those up in the resources sections of each individual section as you're taking them to try to give you those helpful pieces. So before we go forward, I want to ask each of the users to create a folder. In my documents, it might be preferred just because I might reference it as being in my documents throughout the course just to try to stay consistent, but technically this folder can be anywhere that you'd like. So create this new folder on your desktop, my documents, wherever you're comfortable putting that folder, so that we can put all of our course content, all of our notebooks and our credentials notebook or our credentials JSON file inside of this one folder. So very similar to what you see here, I did the same thing. I created a course content folder within my documents, and you'll notice I've got it nested 2 layers deep, and that's only for me because I've got 2 different sets of this, one to release and one to train with. So under my documents, create that course content folder, and then please go to the course content section. So let me go ahead and pull up what that looks like. I apologize, not this screen. I'm looking for this here. So please go ahead and under your section, so right now where we have our current video, and go to resources and download each of these files. And once downloaded, please go ahead and stick each of these into that course content folder. So you'll notice in my folder here, this is each of the files I'm asking you to download. So once each of these are in here, please do not touch them. Please leave them inside of this course content folder. They need to be here so that they can be found for different lessons throughout this, and then also to be able to reference this credentials file. So that will be our next step. We are going to go ahead and set up our credentials file to show you, where you're going to put your Robinhood username and password that we'll reference, as well as our alpaca information if you're going to be following along. So again, create that course content folder, download each of those items inside of the resources tab, and then we're going to go ahead and open up our credentials file and edit that real quick. And before I do that, just be aware that there are plenty of resource tabs under each of these. So if you don't hear me reference these as you go throughout the course, if I reference a link inside of one of the PowerPoints or I reference something, I will try to put that resource here available for you under each of these. So you might see these as links. Again, here, this would be an example of a link to Robinhood that will try to eliminate some of your legwork going out and finding these sites I've published. But all right, once you're done with that, the last thing before we jump forward is I want you to go ahead and open up this credentials.json file. And when you open that, it should bring it up in Notepad, or if you're in Mac, I'm not sure what the equivalent is, but go ahead and open this. And what I want you to do before we move forward is to replace this text inside of the quotes as it states with your Robinhood username, password, and down here in Alpaca, you're going to go for your Alpaca API key and Alpaca secrets. So your Robinhood username and password, obviously pretty straightforward. For Alpaca, on the other hand, if you're not familiar with it, I tried to highlight this in the slide, where when you log in, you're going to click view your key, and then you are going to click generate, and then you will get an API key and a secret key that you are going to replace in that file. So here inside of Alpaca, when you log in, you'll be able to open that up and get your API and your secret key. And I actually brought up our Alpaca dashboard just to show you what that looks like. So here, once you log in, you're going to see this section here, and of course I can't click this because I don't want you to see my API key, but to view your API key, if you click view, it will bring up your version that you're using. So of course this is the paper side, so the paper version. It will bring up your API key, and then you're just going to hit generate at the bottom, which I'm showing you here in this button. So there is a button, well, I don't have it unfortunately, but there is a little button that will appear at the bottom, and it will allow your secret to appear. If you ever reset your account, so something to notice, that if you reset your account inside of Alpaca, so if you reset this dollar amount so that you can test new theories, test new trades. So if I click reset here and I make this a new account value, you will need to refresh your API key and secret inside of this credential file. Again, you will need to reset this API and secret key if you reset your account value in here. So just be aware, if you do that, to go back and regenerate this, reopen this file, resave it with your new secret and your new key, and then just click save. So once you replace this text, file, save, and then close it, and then do nothing, and then just again make sure all of these stay in this format. Make sure you don't change these. If you ever do, go back and re-download it, and just keep this folder as untouched as you possibly can. All right, so with that, if there's any questions or confusion on this, feel free to reach out as always to my email that's listed on the site. But again, download course content, stick it into a new folder, change up the credential file, and then we'll go ahead and move forward into our next section.